Rakatha Yahweh, Rakatha Yahweh Shah, Rakatha Yahweh, Rakatha Yahweh Shah. Now, when you look at Deuteronomy, it tells you what was going to happen to the Israelites. And it gives you very good details about what was going to happen. Now, starting in chapter 28, we're going to pick out the key points. 28:15 talks about when they disobey, it's going to be a consequence because the obedience would be to rule over the nations, to be the top nation on the earth in control of everything. But disobedience would be a punishment and be the bottom nation. The nation, let's see here, 28 and 16, and say, cursed shall thy be in the city, and cursed shall thy be in the field. 17, cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. So you would be on the bottom. You wouldn't be able to have a business because of your disobedience. 25 talks about while you was on the bottom, what would happen? The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thy enemies. So their enemies would pretty much smite you. Thou shalt go on one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. So you would be on the run from your enemies in all the kingdoms of the earth. Then 28, Deuteronomy 28:28, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. So he told him he would blind them. And so while you in these other nations on the run from your enemies, you would pretty much not even know what's going on. Be totally blind to the situation. Now when you go to, let's see here, you go to verse, I want verse 32, but it was one even better than that. But let me just get 32. Deuteronomy 28:32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. You see? So now, that's what was going to happen to the Israelites. Their children would be given unto another people. Okay? And so, jumping down to 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. So now, you would be called names. You see, when people see you, they would be shocked, astonished. You see, when you were in these other nations running from your enemies, you're going to be blind, not knowing who you are, and running on the run from your enemies, and you can't start no business, and you will be cursed in the field working for your enemy. And so these are the main signs. Verse 44 says, He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. So any enemy or any land where the Israelites is on the run at, being smitten by their enemies, they're going to be at the bottom, and the other nation is going to be at the top. You see, so this is some of the main signs. Uh, Now these curses was going to be signs. When you go to verse 46, it says, "And they shall be upon thee for a sign. They shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." So your children, all the children of Israel, and their children, and their children, this would be a sign that you will be in somebody else's land, not knowing who you were, and on the run from your enemies. Now, how would you get to these lands? Because the transportation is a very key part. In verse 68, it says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way thereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman, and no man shall save you." So the disobedience for the Israelites is slave ships. And when you get out the slave ship, you're going to be on the run from your enemy and serving your enemy on in his field and on his store or business, however you want to word it. And so this is the evidence of who the Israelites are. And so when you get to 29 and 29, another thing would be major for the Israelites. He said the secret things belong, this Deuteronomy 29:29 now. "The secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law." So the things that's revealed in these Israelite, in the history of the Israelites, the law of Moses, the minor prophets, the so-called New Testament, with the gospel and the writings of Paul and John, James, and Peter and Luke, all of those things in those writings that's revealed is going to be revealed to the children of Israel. Not everybody can pick up the book and get the revelation, get the things revealed to them. And so that's the main thing about understanding this book. You got to know, if you're a descendant of a slave, if your bloodline go back to these people, and back to the people that were sold on slave ships, and if you are from these people, then you might can get revelations of the book. But people in this world, they thinking that anybody can pick up the book and get a revelation, and everybody is acceptable to God, and people can join in on the blessings of the Israelites and on the inheritance of the Israelites. But they cannot. How he said, but in verse 29 and 29, "But those things which are revealed belong unto us." See, it don't belong to anybody that just want to do it. It belongs to the children of Israel only. You see. So these signs in here is for the children of Israel. The signs is not for the non-Israelites, the heathens or the Gentiles The signs is not for them. It's for the Israelites that's in a Gentile state of mind and worshiping idols and not knowing who they are. It's for them. And that's what's written in Hosea the first chapter. In Hosea the first chapter, it told you that when the Israelites, they would be stricken with blindness. And this blindness would cause them not to know who they were. But in the first chapter, it tells you, what's that, Hosea, the first chapter? Verse 10, it says, Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people. So in the captivity in these nations, that they're among the nations, in those places where it is saying that y'all are Israelites. You see, he striking them with blindness, but they don't even know who they are. So nobody else can know who they are if they don't know. And the nations don't want to tell them, even if they did know. So he said, and though it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God. So in the same place where they was in captivity, they would get revelations to know that they are the children of Israel, and they would wake up. And that's what Revelation 9 was talking about. Revelation 11:11 was talking about. Let's go to that, since we're talking about revelation. They would get a revelation and wake up. It said, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. So that spirit of God revealed to them that they were the children of Israel. He said, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. You see, so at a period of time, the Israelites will get the spirit and wake up. And it was mostly in these last days, because that's what Luke, who wrote Acts, that's what he put in Acts. I think it's in the second chapter. Let's see here. Acts, the second chapter, verse 17. He's quoting the prophet Joel. Acts, the second chapter, verse 17, it says, and it shall come to pass in the last days. So in the last days, the Spirit would give the children of Israel revelation of who they are. Saying the last days, says God, I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh. You see, your sons and daughters. He's talking to the Israelites. Your sons, your children, and your daughters. You see, they shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. So these children of Israel, they will wake up and understand the visions. They will understand the dreams that was given to their forefathers. They will get a revelation of these dreams, and it would give them the knowledge of themselves. Let them know that they are Israelites. The blacks, Hispanic, Native American, who was brought here on slave ships and sent to Spain on slave ships and conquered by their enemies. But I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors pushing the truth. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. The kingdom is at hand. Shalom.